Hello and welcome back to MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things magic. In today's video, we are going to add the next 20 creature cards with mana values of 1 into our Momir Vig Cube. Thank you for choosing MTG Burgeoning for your Magic the Gathering content. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and consider becoming a subscriber. Doing so supports the channel and makes you eligible for our various subscriber rewards series. If you would like to support the channel further, then click the link to our Patreon page in the description below. There you can join our ongoing Pack Wars series as a 1-month supporter or ongoing member. Or try joining Pack Wars for free by commenting on every MTG Burgeoning video in a month. We strive to offer creative rewards through our various Patreon tiers. So if Pack Wars isn't for you, then something else will be. Links to our content and various subscriber rewards series can be found in the description below. Send us an email, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. We are your channel for all things magic. Greetings and salutations to the MTGBC. You are the MTG Burgeoning community. Welcome back to another installment of our ongoing Momir Vig Cube series. If you have forgotten or are unfamiliar with the goals and purpose of this series, you can search in the description below for a link to the primer, to the intro of the MTG Burgeoning Momir Vig Cube. And while you're fishing down there in the description below, you can also click the link to Cube Cobra, where you can view the entire contents of the cube as it stands right now. So for today, we've got 20 creature cards with converted mana costs of 1 going right into the Momir Vig Cube, and we are starting with an Eldritch Moon favorite, Permeating Mass. We've got a 1/3 spirit that whenever it deals combat damage to a creature, that creature is going to become a copy of Permeating Mass. So if an opponent dares to send one of their prized, overpowered, and valued biggins our way, if we were fortunate enough to summon a token copy of Permeating Mass to our side of the battlefield, that opponent will be most disappointed with the results. Creature number 2, shifting from mono green to mono blue, we have Phantasmal Bear. We've got a 2/2 bear illusion that when it becomes a target of a spell or ability, we will sacrifice it. Now, Momir Vig is all creatures all the time, so it should not become ever the target of a spell. It may very well become the target of an ability, and if that were to happen based upon an activated trigger ETB or LTB ability, then this Phantasmal Bear is heading straight to the grave. If not, then we invested 1 mana into our Momir Vig Simic Visionary Avatar and got a 2/2 on our first turn. Alright, shifting to mono black, we have the Plagued Rusalka, a 1/1 spirit that allows us to pay a black mana, sacrifice a creature, and target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. In a format like Momir Vig, where creatures reign supreme, any form of removal is going to be highly coveted. And this is an example to make sure that your basic land decks are very balanced, because you want to make sure you have the black mana available to activate Plague Rusalka's ability. Back-to-back mono black here. This time we're going Karsi High Priest. We have an 0/2 human cleric. We pay a generic mana, we pay a black mana, we tap this, we sacrifice another creature, and then we get to manifest the top card of our library. For any of those out there who are unfamiliar with the manifest ability back during the Fate Reforged time of Magic the Gathering, that means that we'll take the top card of our library, we'll put it onto the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature, and we can turn it face up for its mana cost at any time if it's a creature card. But it will not be a creature card, because every card in the basic land library is going to be a basic land. However, Karsi High Priest allows us to engage in some combat shenanigans by sacrificing a blocker or one of our chump attackers, and we end up with a 2/2 each time we activate this ability. So a creature that can create other creatures in a format like Momir Vig, very, very valuable. Next up, going back to mono green as we reach the 1/4 mark of this video, we have the Carrion Ranger. It's a 1/1 elf ranger. We get to return a forest we control to its owner's hand, and then we can untap target creature, but we can only activate this ability once each turn. This is just another example to make sure you have a versatile selection of basic lands in your basic land library, because without a forest on your side of the battlefield, you will not be able to untap one of your creatures utilizing Carrion Ranger's ability. Our first mono red addition to this video, it is Raka Disciple. Back to the time of Apocalypse. We have a 1/1 wizard. We can pay a white mana and tap it to prevent the next 1 damage that will be dealt to target creature or player this turn. We can pay a blue mana and tap it, and target creature gains flying until end of turn. So with the right balance of mana, again, we continue to drive home that point. Diversify your basic land library. With the right amount of mana, we can have some major combat shenanigans by preventing damage to creatures and players, and we also can provide a creature with the oh-so-important evasion of flying. Remember, Momir Vig is all about creatures, it's all about attacking, and any ways we can give those creatures evasion, we're going to take that every day of the week and twice on Friday Night Magic. Creature number 7 in our first multicolored edition, we have the Rakdos Cackler, a 1/1 devil with the Unleash mechanic. As this bad boy comes into play, if we put a +1/+1 counter on it, it will not be able to block. So we have the ability to have a 1/1 that can block, or a 2/2 that can't. Being as aggressive as we need to be in Momir Vig to win the game, I sense Rakdos Cackler is going to come down with that +1/+1 counter nearly every single time. Back-to-back multicolored creatures. Next up, we have Ravenous Squirrel, a 1/1 squirrel that whenever we sacrifice an artifact or creature, we put a +1/+1 counter on Ravenous Squirrel. As mentioned earlier, it's all creatures all the time here in Momir Vig, but there are artifact creatures in the mix, so we can use Ravenous Squirrel's ability to sacrifice those artifact creatures. And we can pay 1 in Golgari colors to sacrifice an artifact or creature. We gain 1 life, we draw 1 card, and that +1/+1 counter goes right on to the squirrel. This may be one of the most powerful and versatile 1-drops so far in the Momir Vig Cube. Back to mono blue for creature number 9. It is Reef Shaman, a 0/2 merfolk that we can tap, and target land's basic land type becomes the basic land type of your choice until end of turn. This will help to work wonders to smooth and fix the mana if you so happen to be bogged down by not having the colors needed to activate any of the activated abilities we've already talked about during this video. Reaching the halfway point back to mono green, this time it's Renowned Weaver. Going back to the days of original Theros block, we have a 1/1 human shaman. We can pay 1 in a green mana, and we can sacrifice this creature to create a 1/3 green spider enchantment creature token with reach. Again, similar to what we stated earlier in this video, any creatures that can create creatures, very, very valuable in a format like Momir Vig. Beginning the second half of this video, we're going mono white for the first time today, and we have Resolute Watchdog, a 1/3 hound with defender. We may pay 1 generic mana and sacrifice it, and target creature we control gains indestructible until end of turn. The 3 toughness here is a pretty good blocker on your first turn, plus with the ability to give one of our creatures indestructible at a moment's notice. Very, very valuable card, Resolute Watchdog. Our third multicolor edition in this video, Reese the Redeemed. Back to the days of Shadowmoor. We have a 1/1 elf warrior. We can pay 2 and 1 of a Selesnya color and tap Reese to create a 1/1 green and white elf warrior creature token. We can pay 4 and any combination of 2 Selesnya mana to create a token of each creature that we already have in play. For each creature token we control, we'll create a token that's a copy of that creature. By no means should Reese the Redeemed redeem ever enter into combat if you are fortunate enough to summon it to your side of the battlefield. It's going to sit back and pump out those elf warrior creature tokens, hopefully to the point where you can double them by one ability. Just make sure you have those forests and plains in your basic land library. Next up, back to Mono Blue, we have Rishadan Dockhand, a 1/2 merfolk with Island Walk, meaning that if an opponent controls an island, Rishadan Dockhand will attack, and it cannot be blocked. We can also pay 1 generic mana and tap the Rishadan Dockhand to tap target land. A great little ability we can do to slow down one of our opponents if they're trying to summon a copy from the Momir Vig Cube ahead of curve. Our first colorless addition to this video comes in the form of Rotorithopter. Rotorithopter. Okay. Rotorithopter. I practiced this card many times before this video, and I still butchered it. Rotorithopter is a 0/2 flying artifact creature. For every 2 generic mana you spend, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and you cannot spend more than 4 at any time. So the best we can do is a 2/2 flyer, which in the late game might be enough to send some lethal damage to one of our opponents. The long wait is over. Reaching the 3/4 mark of this video, a mono white creature. We've been waiting for many, many moons for it to make its presence, and I do happen to know for a fact it will make one of the subscribers of the MTGBC a very, very happy cat. Savannah Lion is in the cube. 1 mana for a 2/1 Gato. There you go, SL. Savannah Lions is in the cube. Creature number 16, going back to Mono Red, we have Scorched Rusalka, a 1/1 spirit where we can tap a red mana and sacrifice a creature to have this deal 1 damage to target player. A nice way to make sure that any creatures that are already going to die can at least do so by hitting one of our opponents right in the face for 1 point of damage. Just be sure you have those mountains in your basic land library. Next up, back to Mono Green, it's Scute Mob, a 1/1 insect that at the beginning of our upkeep, if we control 5 or more lands, we will put 4 +1/+1 counters on Scute Mob. Very similar to Reese the Redeemed, Scute Mob should spend the first several turns of your game it's just chilling in the sidelines, waiting to get those lands, and then getting more and more +1/+1 counters and becoming one of the biggest threats a 1-drop could pose in this Momir Vig Cube. Next up, we have creature number 18, another mono-colored edition. It is Scuzzback Scrapper, a 1/1 Goblin Warrior. It has Wither, which means it will deal damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters. Damage will not wear off during the cleanup step. They'll just slap on -1/-1 counters and bid you on your way. Creature number 19, back to Mono Green, we have Scythed Tiger, a 3/2 cat with Shroud. When it ETBs, we have to sacrifice it unless we sacrifice another land. And sacrifice a land, not another land. This beauty from original Zendikar might be worth sacrificing that land for a 3/2 Shrouder. And lastly, creature number 20, we're going to finish with another multicolored edition. It is Seed Cradle Witch, a 1/1 elf shaman. We can pay 2 and Selesnya colors, and target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn, and we can untap that creature with enough mana on our side of the battlefield that could cause all kinds of combat headaches for all of our opponents. And there you have it, MTGBC. 20 more creature cards into the Momir Vig Cube, each with a mana value of just 1. Let me know your favorites in the comment section below. This is MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things magic.